Hey guys, what's up? Today I just wanted to share my experience taking psychedelic mushrooms with you. I actually ended up taking them 2 days ago, so it's still like very fresh in my mind exactly what happened. I ended up planning this trip with two of my friends about 2 weeks ago. So we've been planning it for a while. We actually ended up renting an Airbnb for it as well, so this was very planned. One of the things we decided to do was we actually decided that we wanted to fast the entire day before taking the shrooms. And we heard this from a lot of people that if you fasted for the whole day, or if you didn't eat anything like 5 or 6 hours before taking shrooms, that it wouldn't affect your stomach in a negative way and you wouldn't have like the nausea and the stomach pains that come with taking a poisonous mushroom. So we ended up doing that. We didn't eat anything all day, and we decided to take shrooms at 3 o'clock in the afternoon so that we could have enough time during the day and night to experience both types of situations. Before the trip, we decided to prepare our bedrooms so that we had like a comfortable place to go. If we needed to be by ourselves, we could just have like water in there and snacks and it'd be totally comfortable. So that's what we did like right before the trip, and then we ended up measuring out 2 grams per each of us, because that's what we decided we were comfortable with, is 2 grams. So we ended up like getting a microgram scale and measuring out each dose on that, and then we ended up taking the shrooms with peanut butter. And I would definitely recommend this. Peanut butter, it just completely takes away the taste of the shrooms, and literally it just felt like I was eating peanut butter. I would definitely recommend using that as a way to eat them. It's just so much better. You don't have to deal with that nasty taste. So we ended up taking them at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we didn't start feeling some of the effects until around 3:45, 4. The first thing I started noticing was that I had this feeling of relaxation come across my body. I was just so calm, so relaxed. I had like this warm sensation, and it was very pleasant just to be like calm, and I felt so nice. And that was like the first thing I started noticing. And then after that, I started noticing visuals. I looked across the room, and propped up against the wall, I had a surfboard. And I would look at the surfboard, and then like the window next to it would start like curving and like moving in and out, and it would get like smaller, bigger, but I could only see it in my peripheral vision. If I looked straight at it, it would stop. That was like the first visual I saw. And then after that, like it kept happening and it would get a little bit stronger. Right after that, I started noticing colors so well. They became so vivid. Everything, like if you saw red, you didn't just see red, you saw like bright red, the most red thing you've ever seen in your life. And then what's even cooler is I would like look at a plant, because we had like a plant in the room. It was in this red vase it was a green plant. I would look at it and it would look like dead and gray and like dull, and then all of a sudden it would brighten up and it would become so vivid and green and like beautiful. And it was like things were like breathing. They would exhale and they would like become dead and dull, and then they would inhale and like brighten up, and it was the craziest thing to watch. It was so cool. Like 20 minutes later, 2 of my friends started like talking to me about how they were starting to trip, and they were talking about how they were connected to things, and they were having all these insights, and they were like having this like connected non-dual feeling. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? I guess I just wasn't on their level yet, but I had no idea. The only thing I felt was I felt very relaxed and I had the visuals, but that was it. I wasn't getting anything else. And so I was kind of frustrated at this point. From the frustration, like 20 minutes later, I decided to take more. I don't know why, but I was just like, you know, this is only gonna happen like once right now. We planned all of this out, and I really want to get something from this trip. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take more. And I ended up taking, I'm not sure how I did it. I did it in 2 different increments. but I ended up taking 3.5 grams of shrooms. So I don't know, I just ended up taking more. And then I was still frustrated, so I locked myself in the bedroom. So I decided to lay down on my bed and just relax, and I took a pretty high dose, so I didn't want to like freak myself out. I just wanted to make sure I stayed very calm because I didn't want to have a bad trip. So I decided to turn on Netflix and watch a movie to keep myself calm. I ended up finding this movie called Given, and it's about like a surfer family who travels, and it's got all these beautiful, beautiful scenes all around the world. It was filmed so well, and I was just like, I was so happy watching this movie. I ended up watching it like 3 times, but this is when I started to get all of these different insights. So I was watching this movie, and all of a sudden I really just was inspired to travel. I'm already planning on traveling soon, internationally. I needed something to like motivate me and like just make me do it, because I've been just talking about it for the longest time. The shrooms kind of helped to do that. They were just kind of like that motivation, especially watching this movie. I was so inspired to just like travel. And then I ended up like thinking that social media was like the stupidest thing ever. It was such a waste of time, and I guess like the shrooms made me realize like all the bullshit in my life, and like what I'm wasting my time on, and all like the negative things that like I'm doing for no reason that's causing me to procrastinate. So basically I just had this idea pop into my head that I had to like get rid of all social media because it was a waste of time, and the opinion of other people that aren't like in my lives does not matter. So like all of the people that follow me on Instagram and like just like don't talk to me but see me on Facebook, like that stuff does not matter at all. And if I just keep like wasting my time on that stuff, like I'm never gonna focus on what truly matters and my goals. So basically I just, in my head, I decided to like crash social media because I was trying to delete it. And when you take shrooms, it's like really easy to forget something, like forget how to do normal things, because it kind of takes you to an animalistic state. So I was trying to like delete my Facebook account, and I couldn't do it because I couldn't remember my password at all. I don't know why, I just couldn't remember anything. So I ended up like hacking it and like making it, I don't know, where I couldn't get on it when I got off of the trip. So I just wanted to make it where I like could not use it ever again. So I like did all this stuff with Facebook, and I like remade a password and deleted my account. And then on Instagram I couldn't figure out how to delete the account, so I ended up deleting every single photo and like changing all this crazy stuff so that I couldn't get back on it again. I guess that was one of the deep insights I had, that stuff really didn't matter, and what truly matters is how much I'm working on my goals and focusing on what I want to do with my life. So once I ended up deleting all of this stuff, I had a huge release of emotion, and I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like I felt so much better. I don't know, I just honestly, like, it was like really emotional. I don't know, I felt so much better once I did this. I felt like that was like the perfect thing to do in my situation. I was totally motivated to work on my goals and do everything in my life that like I really want to do. So shrooms actually like really helped me to see what's important in my life right now. After all this stuff, I had all these insights, and then I decided that I wanted to like stop watching movies, and I decided that I wanted to lay there in bed and close my eyes and just hear, like, be in silence. I went to this place. I was at 3.5 grams, so I mean, like, I guess that's a pretty high amount. What ended up happening is I like went to this place where it's really hard to describe, but it felt like everything was muted. I like closed my eyes and I could hear absolutely nothing, but I could hear it so well that it was actually like loud. Because when you take psychedelics, it like enhances all of your senses. So I could hear everything, and it was such a weird sensation. But I ended up getting to this place. It's so hard to describe. It was kind of like a break in time. Like I wasn't thinking any thoughts. I was just kind of present. I couldn't hear anything. I wasn't thinking about anything. I wasn't doing anything. I was just there. And I could like hear the sound of like nothingness, and like literally it was just like it felt empty. It was so crazy. And I didn't want to think anything, and honestly it felt so nice. It wasn't scary. It wasn't it didn't freak me out. It was just so amazing just to like be there, and it's so hard to describe unless you see it, but it was amazing. So another thing at this point in time that I was experiencing is geometric patterns. This didn't come until like after I took like more of the psychedelics, but what it looked like, it looked like you were looking through a kaleidoscope. You could still see everything. Everything was like completely clear. It was just kind of like moving and like morphing and like doing that little dance. There was like this geometric pattern across everything that you looked at. It was like you were looking through something, like this geometric pattern, and it was very light, but you could definitely notice it, and it was so freaking cool. It was so cool. Everywhere I looked, I could just see this beautiful pattern. Also, this is like one funny thing I want to add. There was I think it was like a smoke detector on the wall next to my bed, and I remember looking at it, and it had like 2 holes on it. It was a circle. It had like 2 holes, and that had this line that like kind of looked like a frowny face, and it looked like it was frowning, and I was just like laughing so hard because I'm like, why are you frowning? Like, and I just felt, I don't know, I was so amused by it. I was like, why are you so sad? You know, like it was just really funny. But other than that, just mainly what it did to me is it like took me into like an animalistic state. And I remember I tried adding, I was trying to figure out like how much longer the trip would be. So I remember it was 3 o'clock when I took the shrooms, and I was trying to figure out when the trip would end, and I like could not add to figure out what time the trip would end. I would forget, and I would forget like how to use a computer, how to use a phone. It took you out of society and like out of reality, and like put you back in an animalistic state. It was just so cool. But anyways, overall, I had a really good trip. I wasn't scared. I wasn't freaked out by anything. I really just tried the whole time to like do what I liked and do what makes me happy. So I would definitely recommend doing this, guys. Just make sure you're in a good mindset before you try doing it. Shrooms can be an incredible teacher and just show you what you need to work on in your life. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like the video, click the like button and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I will be posting another shrooms video. I ended up microdosing shrooms the next day at Busch Gardens, so that was pretty fun. I hope you guys have an incredible day. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.